Hello, tier list tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play Shining Force 2 Tactics Plus Romhack with me, Blueankylo. You can make your own guess at where the music for today's comes from. I'm sure you guys can figure it out with your big brains. So, hey there, future tubers. Yeah, I did a little bit of work in between episodes. You know, I just got everyone up to about the level that's appropriate. This is about the highest level people can easily attain on this part of the game in this ROM hack. You could probably get to 12 or 13 more if you want to use healing and boost and all the cheesy strats. I really wasn't trying to level Sarah up. I just needed someone to keep healing us. So she ended up getting a lot of extra XP. So she's over leveled accidentally, and keep that in mind when we're grading them, is that she's got a lot of extra stats. But everyone else is pretty much the same, right? Healers, right? Healers get a little bit extra. So what I've done, I'll show this off in just a second. I've transported the numbers here into a spreadsheet so it's a little bit more readable, and I'll pop it up on screen here. And just to give you how I did it, I unequipped everybody's accessories. So I'm taking their stats with just their normal weapon, and I normalized it so no one gets a special stronger weapon. So I didn't use the Buster Sword for Slade. I used his stats with the same, like the battle swords everyone else has. Similarly for the Assault Shell for the archers, I just used the default one. So I'm only using effectively weapons that you can buy at this point in the game. So that's the way I tried to balance it, because you could have just unequipped everyone, but then the non-weapon wielders would look like they have way higher attack stats than the weapon wielders, and it's not really fair because that's not how you play. So everybody in my spreadsheet has, standard weapons, no accessory, and that way I can compare them mostly fairly. I also have not used stat boosters on anyone except Blue. So Blue might have slightly higher stats, like, as the hero, than what he should. I'm not exactly sure how early, like, level 2 and 3 stat boosts translate into the growth formula. So it depends on which Shining Force game you're playing and stuff, but sometimes, the level 12 promoted hero just has a target stat for all their stats, and tries to get you there. So if you got a plus 10 early on from a bunch of power wines, it might just slow down your growth until you hit the average, or it might just keep you with plus 10 above the average. So I don't really know. That's a little detail I never got into. So with that said, let me switch over to the spreadsheet, and I will talk a little bit about the characters, and I will give them a mid-game ranking. We're about halfway through the game-ish, approximately. So let's pop it up. Listen to some lovely music. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Probably this column doesn't need to be quite so big. Standard old Google Doc spreadsheet, no big deal. You know how these work. I could zoom in. Actually, I will zoom in a little because I know sometimes for YouTube these things are a bit harder to see. So let me make it a little bigger. Yeah, that's fair. That's enough room. Okay, might be a bit easier for you guys to read depending on if you're looking on a tiny little phone or something. So, for starting with, our hero. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, pretty standard. This is kind of our baseline, good HP, some MP. He's not a primary caster. His attack power is actually quite high. Achilles' sword has the same strength as the battle sword, so the same as everyone else. I didn't give him like the critical sword or something fancy. And actually pretty good defense. So even if I gave him like 1 or 2 stat boosts, it's still pretty high. So I feel like he's doing all right. 6 move is kind of the default decent. And Bolt 3 is actually a lot stronger in this one than normal. Now, you can only cast it once, but eventually he'll be able to cast it twice. And Egress costs a lot less. So the only real downside, of course, is if he dies, you lose half your money and restart the fight. I'm going to give him an A, because I think he's actually pretty good. And I'm going to just, for my own sensibilities, put that in the middle. Okay, so we start with Blue. Pretty good. Oh, can we just, I just need a little bit more space and you guys can just see it all. It's not perfect. This is what happens when I zoom in on the fly. I'm a bit of a little bit perfectionist when I'm playing with my spreadsheets. I really like them to look nice, and I spend some time, but not too much. Okay, Sarah, so, her stats are 7 levels higher. That might translate to 7 to 21 higher, depending on the level up, so if you get a plus 3 or a plus 1. She certainly has a lot more HP than I would expect. Even with 7 or 8 extra level ups, she's very, very sturdy. and also very, very tanky. And I found, like, even back when she was 11 or 12, she was, like, not as incredibly defensive, but surprisingly defensive cleric. So I almost should put these green for highlighted, but I'm trying to ignore her stats because, you know, she's out of level. She also has an amazing spell selection, Heal 4, Detox 4, Aura 3, and Deo up to level 2 now. Again, she didn't learn Deo 2 till pretty recently, and she hasn't learned Aura 4 yet, but her spell selection, I'd say, is good, enough for me to give it the green light, and she also gets to use Spell Rods, which have been very effective. I'm going to actually say S tier, even though she's over-leveled. She is so much better than Vanilla Sarah, and probably the best healer we've got. At least so far. So I don't think I would ever kick her out of the group. And you can't kick the main hero out of the group. So that's that. Now, Chester, you've seen a lot of red lights here. So my line for what I've decided is red, as in bad, is enemies at this point in the game, and when I was grinding in between episodes, have a spell called Blaze 3, or Blast 3, or even Freeze 3. That all do 50 or higher damage into the low 50s to maybe 60 kind of range, depending. Some units have secret spell resistance, which I'm not always aware of, but like Peter classically resists fire like 20% or something, maybe even 33%, whatever. I don't think Chester gets anything like that. Anyone who casts a level 3 spell instantly kills it, and he's dead. So that's too low, basically. Like, my threshold at this point in the game is you have to be able to survive at least one spell. Or else you're just dead at the beginning of the fight as soon as you know, the enemy just kill you instantly. So that's a big, big penalty for Chester. He needs way more HP. In fact, at the same level, he has less HP than Sarah did, less than my wizard, right? Like, Kazan has more. He may have the lowest HP tied in the entire force. Sorry, I missed Kiwi. He barely has more HP than Kiwi, who has a lot of defense. So Chester actually is trash. His MP is too low to actually use his spells, which are decent. Not great, but decent. His attack rating is, for an attacker, only average. At this point, most people have higher than 70 if you're going to be a primary attacker. His defense is definitely on the low end. Under 60 is kind of my threshold here, especially for people who, you know, get into melee. The only thing he's got going for him is average move, which is less than normal. Like, usually he has 7. And horse movement means, like, you're bad in mountains. It's the negative, not a positive, basically. Usually high movement, but penalty in certain terrains is the idea. So he's got average movement, penalties to certain terrains. He does get only range 2 weapons. There's no range 1 lances. So that's a slight buff. But, like, overall, this guy might be the worst character we've got so far. I'm giving him an F. He was one of the hardest ones to level up because he just dies constantly. Always dies. And even if you use him as a spellcaster to kind of keep him at range 2 and use some spells, he doesn't have enough MP to keep up. So he does it once or twice, and then that's the end of it. Jaha. Yaha. Also, I don't know. I think it's Red Knight. It doesn't really matter. Soldier, I believe, is his. So HP is pretty bad. I considered putting it in red, but 55 was sort of my cutoff point for melee. He did get +1 movement from the soldier promotion, so that's better. He would have been even worse as a brawler or default promotion. But, like, his defense is so bad. Like, his attack is decent, not quite in the high end, but, like, fair. But for such a bad defense, average movement, yeah, surprisingly agile. Usually Jaha is like one of your lowest agility, but agility, I'm mostly ignoring it. Generally doesn't matter much. You know, he's got no special effects. As far as I can see, there's nothing really helping him at all. So he's also getting cut. His HP is just at the border where sometimes he gets one shot. And leveling him up to 11, like when he was level 8 or 9, he definitely got one shot. It wasn't until he got into the mid-50s that he survived a single hit. And that's not great. So I'm gonna give him a D. You know, he's not as bad as Chester, but he's bad, at least for me in my run right now in this Romhack. Moving on, Kazan. Honestly, his stats are whatever. He's got a pretty good amount of MP. I should give him a green light for his MP. He's got a lot of MP compared to a lot of people. HP, honestly, for a wizard, decent. Attack doesn't really matter. Defense is low. I'm generally not grading defense as harshly on primary spellcasters because they're not meant to be attacked as often. So if you're meant to be hit, like actually getting in range of enemies, you need the defense. If you're generally staying back and being a little bit more careful, it's not as important. It is low, which is a risk, but it's not super bad. Similarly, a low movement on, healers and wizards isn't as bad because they have ranged spells, and it is like a penalty, but it's not as punishing as a range 1 melee fighter, right? So like Jaha with 5 movement and a range 1 attack really has a hard time. But at least Kazan with 5 move plus longer reaching spells and area of effect spells, and also his rods, which I really value. This is a significant boost. It gives him something he can generally do every turn. I'm going to say A, technically not as high as Sarah, but he's a very good value to the team right now. Between the rods, the good spell selection, good MP, like, that's what really matters. He's got stuff to do. Boosting people's attack is really, really good, and freeze 3 murder stuff. So he can kill stuff, he can boost his friends, he's got the utility of the rods. At least A. Maybe not S rank, but he's good. Janet. There's a lot of archers, and there's not much to differentiate them. So, there's like 4 right now. Janet seems to be kind of average. Movement, good. Range, great. Attack power, average. HP, one-shottable. And then everything else is it. I'm going to give her a C because I'm going to up it to a B. I think the class is very strong in this hack. I think ranged weapons are just better now. And I don't know, it's hard to prove, but I believe the class gets more double attacks and crits. So that further boosts an average attack into above average, because I believe certain classes, I think Bow Knights and the alternative to Soldier, the Brawler, whatever, I think those are the 2 for sure that get a boosted, like, double and critical rate. I know traditionally Ninja from Slade also gets extra crits, I think. So some, like, and when I say extra, I mean, like, instead of 1 in 16, it's 1 in 8 or something. But it's still rare, but it seems to happen in this hack more than normal. So for that, I'll say maybe not a great, given that I have 4 ranged units, 4 archers, not amazing, but still better, definitely, than my bad melee units, right? Anyway, there's really not much. She doesn't really stand out with anything super interesting. Next up is our new dragon, and I believe has full flight now rather than just partial hover like in vanilla. The 5 movement for a melee class is rough. Even with flying, 5 movement is pretty bad. His defense has been growing very well, though. I will say I've seen some +4s on a level up, and it is on track to keep up with the enemies, as long as he doesn't... And the problem here is his attack sucks. So it's hard to keep his level up high enough to keep his defense strong enough to survive. And we saw in the last episode, there are enemies with 108 attack power already, which do 10, 20 damage already. So he can still be like 2 or 3 shot by the highest attack power enemies at this point in the game. So his defense is good, but combo with the worst HP, he still gets 1 shot by spells. Enemies can still kill him in a couple hits if you're fighting the stronger ones, but the weaker enemies do have around 80 attack power, and then he just takes 1 damage, which is what you're going for a tank. But the real killer is his low attack, and like the double killer is, I think, half of the time, instead of just doing his basic attack formula, he just does like a spell, like a breath, which does like 20 damage. So even if you attack buffed him with like the attack spell and got his attack up to a decent range, and you equip like an attack boosting accessory or something to get him into the decent values, half the time he just ignores it and does 20 damage, which could be good, but usually is bad. I'm not really impressed with him. I'm going to give him a C. I think he's definitely better than Vanilla Kiwi. He's still pretty low tier for my group right now. Flying is okay, but flying with 5 movement is not great. Flying is also a technical disadvantage in that you don't get a train effect. You don't get any defense for standing on those forest tiles if you're flying. So, although he's got high defense, the flight kind of reduces it a little bit, in a sense. And yeah, he's definitely weak to magic still. Not as bad. Like, he's got more HP than Vanilla Kiwi. More defense. You know, he's better, but honestly, I think he needs to lose the breath and get a little bit of attack power, and maybe then. Peter! Boy, this guy got hit by the worst nerf bat. His HP is terrible. Gets 1 shot all the time. His defense is also worse than even, technically, the wizard. Not by much, but, you know, Peter now has defense on par with archers and wizards. and he lost a movement. I believe he had 7 movement before. I could be wrong, but I think he lost a point of movement. His defense is just terrible, and he only has a ranged 1 attack. So you're like, well, but he's got a spell. He's got a spell that does a lot of damage, but he can cast it once, and that's it. He does not have enough MP to cast this much. So with low HP, low defense, a decently high attack power, not bad, but as soon as he gets into melee, he dies. He was also, I think, tied with maybe Chester as one of the hardest ones to level, because the enemies just focus him down because they know he doesn't have very much defense. Even with a defense boosting accessory, he's terrible. The only thing he's got is he dies and then he gets resurrected for free. Woo. Honestly, he's down there, I think, with Jaha. Is he as bad as Chester? Nah, I gotta give Flight a little bit of a boost. I'm putting him in D tier. It's bad. I think Chester is worse, though. Sorry, Chester. Because Chester needs the HP and has more defense. Well, that's funny. Well, whatever. I think it's the spells killing Chester. It's just he's so far behind the HP curve. He's always going to get one shot. At least, I believe Peter, I'm pretty sure, is resistant to fire. So, like, blaze spells won't insta-kill him, at the very least. Although I believe he's weak to blast for wind. So, he could easily go down to F. Anyway, moving on. We can't stay here all day. Geralt, I think it's Fenrir. I don't know, whatever. His HP is also pretty bad, but he gets a lot more movement than, well, I think he's got 5 movement in the base game, right? So this is a huge buff. His attack power is very good. Defense is, you know, just at my cutoff point. It's not much higher than Jaha. And, like, it's not great. I'm putting him in C. Oops. I don't know what to do. Undo. Please undo. There we go. I'm putting him in C tier. I think he'll get better eventually, but for now, he does not hold up. Like, he doesn't have enough defense to hold the line. He's very much a move quickly and attack from the side, but if the enemies hit him, he's dead. So he has some use. I think C is the point where it's like, there's some use, there's some viability. Kiwi has some viability, but once you're below C, I'm like, it's not, you're just a liability rather than a... But C also means, like, you can use them if the right setup, the right power, but it's still very easy for them to do nothing on the entire battle. Elric, okay, might be the best archer we've got. I think he's got the highest base attack. So I'm just gonna give him an A because the archers are really good. I gave Janet, what did I give Janet? A B. I think he's better than Janet, right? He's got 12 more attack power than her at base. Basically the same defense. He's a little slower agility-wise, and basically the same HP. So the only real difference between him is 12 more damage. And because of the doubles and stuff, that he really does kill stuff all the time. So I think A for sure. Not quite S tier because he does die pretty easy. And you know, he's glass cannon, one trick pony. Moving on to Luke. Luke is hard for me to judge. 7 movement is also very good. Flying is very good. Defense is just terrible. Attack power is just passable. His spell list is great, though. He actually learned Aura 4. I can't believe it. But he only cast it once. So, if he had the MP to back it up, he could be a mobile, you know, healer with some damage and some insta-death. I don't know how to play him. He's got terrible HP, terrible defense. MP is not really high enough to contribute much. His attack power doesn't add too much. So I'm gonna give him like B, but minus. Like, I'm just putting him into the good tier at B. But he's definitely not as good as Janet. The only reason you would bring him is, I don't know, maybe just B. I think at this point he can cast Aura 4 times, just Aura level 1. And that's got a pretty good value, even if that's all you did. Because he can fly a long... It's hard. I don't know what to do with him. He could either easily be C or B, depending on how you play him. I think he's maybe one of the harder units in this Romhack to figure out the change. Moving on to... we're almost done. We're more than halfway through. And I've covered most of the stuff I want to talk about. Road, the brass gunner. I think he actually got 1 more movement than Vanilla. I believe they have 4 movement, I think. I could be wrong. Maybe they stay at 5, and then the snipers get 6. But I believe he might be slightly better than before. He does actually follow through with decent defense. which I wasn't really expecting. I know brass gunners are supposed to have good defense, but that in the vanilla game doesn't generally translate into much. So he's definitely the defensive archer, you know, comparing him to Janet, the average archer. Same attack, you know, 20 more defense. Not as slow as before, but loses the movement race. And his HP is so low that if you rely on him for tanking, his defense isn't actually high enough to survive, right? Like, that's the problem. Like, you were talking about Kiwi, right? 13 less defense, still gonna die to a single Blaze 3, Freeze 3, Bolt 3. I think Blast 3 does, like, 35 or 40-ish damage, I forget. It's a little bit less. We see Blast 2 a lot more than Blast 3, but I think Blast 3 is around 30 to 40 damage, maybe? Anyway, he's still pretty easily one-shot. I think he's the worst of the archers. Defensive archers just doesn't make any sense. I'm going to drop him down, like, C. So, like, average archer is... Because archers are really good, you get a B. If you're a better archer, you go up to A. If you're a worse archer, you go down to C. I think you could still use them, because range 3... The movement's pretty bad, but I still think you could get some value out of him compared to some of the people we've seen. Celeste is weird. So almost, possibly every single level up as a Magus, she has gained a new level of spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I think she might have had, yeah, level 2. I think every level has been a +1 to spell up. So if she eventually gets level 4 of every spell, she will have ridiculous elemental viability. And one day she'll be able to use cool Warlock rings, I think. We don't really have any good ones right now, except the damage ring. I put a star here because this is her attack power with a spear, which is range 2. She can instead use the Warlock ring, which boosts her attack to like 120. So she can do a tremendous amount of damage. She is the DPSist of DPS. Her movement isn't really great, it's just average. Horse is, you know, it's kind of like the same problem as Chester. HP, bad. MP, a bit on the low end for some of the spells. But she does have all the offensive spells, so I think I gotta put her in B. She is super fragile. And at the moment, it's like B to C, because we don't have any good rings. But I promise you, there are rings later in the game that are very strong. And having characters that can use them, just like the rods right now, it will be worth something later. It's just right now, it's not worth very much. So, I'm kind of surprised by Celeste, just the number of spells. Same with Luke. The spell selection is interesting. I didn't give her like a good spell selection, because she doesn't have any buffs, no healing, no... Like, she just does damage, and her MP won't last very long, and then she has to get into melee, probably, and die. Or she can try to use a spear and do decent damage. Like, it's very, very, very much damage. Anyway, May is our archer with a twist. She gets a couple spells, but can barely cast them, like super low MP. Range 3 is pretty good. Her attack power is about the same as Janet. Defense is slightly higher. It's kind of mostly the same. I'm gonna also give her a B, same as Janet, basically. I think the spells would up it a little if she had the MP to back it up. Attack 1 is great. It's better on the person not attacking, though, and she wants to attack. So, I think, like all the archers, I think she's certainly viable and adds to the team more than she detracts. Tamar, I did spend a fair bit of time practicing with this one. She's definitely better than I thought. She gets the full 7 movement flight range 2 combo, which gives her probably the most flexibility of anyone in the team right now. I don't think anyone else can attack at 9 range. I guess technically the archers can move 6 and shoot 3 to get to 9. So it's similar to the archers, except you have to get a little bit closer to the enemy. But flying means you can avoid some terrain, so it's a little better overall. Again, defense is very low, but because of the movement, like I'm comparing her mostly to Chester, right? Because I promoted Chester could be a Pegasus Knight, and that may have helped him out a lot. I think you only get the spells as a Red Knight, so we don't actually know what spells she would have learned if I'd promoted her to Paladin. I assume they're similar, but I actually don't know. I haven't used her before. But I will say, as a Pegasus, and this tier list is just based on the promotions I used, of course. I think she's worth using. Again, I'm gonna put her in B for now, and I'm probably gonna redo this tier list later on and see how it's adjusted. But flight is very valuable, and 7 range 7 movement, range 2, even with an average attack and kind of low defense, and getting one shot. Like, I'm gonna... It's a B-. I think she's the worst of the Bs that I've put so far. She's got to be worse than the others. But still, compared to some people, she's not bad. Alright, couple left. Karna. Spell selection is the worst. Heal 4, sure. You can heal one person to full for half your MP. I'm actually going to put this as red too. If I had a half color, I'd say orange or something. But she does not really have enough MP to get value out of her spells. And her attack isn't really high enough. She doesn't really have enough combat stats to really make use of them. So all she's got, like, Neptune does do a lot of damage. Very good single target spell. I think it's range 3. Attack up is good. Boost 2 is good. Heal is just not as good as Aura. So if you're looking at her as a healer, she is probably the worst healer. In fact, she's worse at healing than one of our wizards. I'm actually going to give her a D. I'm really not impressed. Karna was, I believe, without a doubt, the best character in the game, in the vanilla game, even if you didn't try the boost XP strat. She's with the ability to get Aura and easily level for the whole game. She's the first character you can get with Aura if you recruit her at Creeds, and just carries you through this midsection so well. Well, now Karna doesn't help really at all. What does she bring to the team? Compared to what we've already got, single target heal, Sarah's already got it. Boost 2, I think someone's got it. Yeah, technically Chester has it, whatever. It's good, but it's not that good. Attack 1, we've got a couple people with that. Neptune, it's the first person with Neptune, but it's just a single target damage spell. It's not that great. And no Aura on a healer in a game where all the enemies do even more damage than vanilla, and there's more AoE spells. You really need Aura. I want to say Aura is the S rank, and without it, you drop down like 2 or 3 tiers. That's just how it is. Moving on, Runor. I don't know what this guy's point is. His attack power is pretty good. His HP is better than average, probably. So he can survive a hit. It's been growing. I think it's been growing really quickly. So maybe if we go to level 20 or something, it'll look like maybe then he'll look good. But 62 HP and 54 defense is enough to survive like one spell, but he does tend to get trashed in melee. So although his attack is pretty good, his movement being trash and his defense being trash is definitely enough for me to downgrade him to like D. 5 move is bad. That's why I wanted Jaha to be a Baron to get that +1 move. Similarly, the Master Monks, I didn't mention it, but Master Monks also get +1 to movement. So, in whoever you make Master Monk, but in favor of Master Monking, that does help. But they don't get to use the rods, which are, well, probably more valuable than 1 movement, is what I'm going to say. So if the main difference between a Master Monk and a Cleric is you can use spell rods or you can move a little bit further, and we don't really care about the attack power too much, Clerics are better, in my opinion. And I'm not sure if it changes their growths for MP or anything. Usually, Clerics might have more Mp than Master Monks. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, Runor, not very big not much impressiveness. On to Sumina, our Warlock. Again, could have been a Wizard. I think the spell selection would be the same. There's a very offensive spell list. No buffs like boost or attack. No debuffs. But it does have Aura. And this makes Sumina probably the best offensive spellcaster, because she can heal, she can do a lot of damage to an AoE, she can do a lot of damage single target, she can do single target short range damage. Sumina's great. Unless you're fighting enemies strong to fire, amazing. Plus, she will get rings later, which is just, I'm going to put her in A tier. Maybe S tier once we get better rings. I think she's going to be competing with Sarah later. But for now, at this moment, Sarah is definitely better. Warlock does give you access to a pretty decent attack ring, similar to how the Master Monk gets a little bit more attack. But that we don't really care. Unless you're grinding, you generally don't do much single target attacks. You're going to use those spells. And I think maybe I should have highlighted, her MP is good too. That's what really counts, is can you keep casting stuff. Her MP is one of the highest, right? Like, it's solid. Alright, last but not least, certainly, Slade. Really good movement. Get some... Forest just means you're not penalized in Forest, so you got a little bit better than average movement. His attack power is maybe the highest. Yeah, right now it is the highest base attack, and he's got technically a slightly better weapon than that anyway. Defense, not as low as I thought, actually. One of the better defenses. At least average, anyway. MP is kind of too low to use any of his kind of weak spell selection. I mean, is this better or worse than his vanilla ones? I don't know. Slow's good. Sleep's kind of trash. Muddle, it's okay. Dispel, I mean, I was just talking about how enemy spellcasters wreck us. Maybe I should try Dispel more. I just usually, you know, Blueankylo time, chat time, usually hit or miss spells, like Silence, Confuse, Sleep. I generally don't value them very much because the odds of them working, I don't know what they are, and it seems like when you need them to work, they fail, or the enemies you really want to hit with it are immune to it anyway. So you're generally better off just trying to kill them, is my experience in almost every game. So at least in Shining Force 2, I don't value this stuff very high. Maybe the Romhack changed it, though. I don't really know. But yeah, his HP's a little low, his MP's super low for now. But he's definitely the biggest damage dealer we've got, and for that, I will give him the coveted A tier. Really good movement, really good attack. Defense, not that bad. HP a little low, but, I mean, barely below average, probably. Anyway, that's my tier list. Look at that. Amazing. We spent half an hour. We're going to go play the next map anyway. Don't worry about it. But this will basically be... It should reflect the group I use in-game. I'll show it off now. And I have moved the equipment around, so our stats are going to look slightly better because I've actually equipped those accessories, like power armlets. Notably, I only have +1 movement accessory, and I gave it to our flying dragon to try to get a bit more value out of him. The Vital Cape is +10 defense, which puts him into very high defense mode, and I really wanted someone who could tank. He still dies to magic. So, whether or not this will be a successful tanking, I mean, only time will tell. But that's kind of our most valuable accessory, and we will get actually a fair number of +1 or 2 movement accessories eventually. But this one's pretty good. 10 defense, 1 movement. You could just give it to someone who has 7 movement and make them better. And I do have, like, keeping in mind, I have 2 running pimentos, which are +2 move. I could give them to Red, and he'd have a base 7 by now. But I don't like using those in my comparison, because anyone could get +2 move. And, you know who would get probably even more value is, like, Sarah or Kazan. And just let them fly around the battlefield super fast and, you know, hit things and spells and all that. So, someone who's already slow, you can fix their weakness, or you can make someone strength even better, kind of thing. I generally, when I was younger, I often just tried to balance out the stats so everyone had 6 or 7 movement. But, like, power gaming-wise, that's kind of the wrong decision. Like, you've averaged people out, but you'd be better off just making the strongest people even stronger most of the time. Anyway, is that it? Right, so my party, Blue, yes. Sarah, of course. Chester's out. Jaha's out, no one's surprised there. Kazan's in. Janet's out. She could be in easily enough, though. She's fine. I just didn't want 3 archers. I'm bringing the dragon for now. Peter's out. He's pretty bad this time around. I'm bringing Geralt for now. He's got some nice defense. I couldn't resist. But, like, his attack power is really good, and 7 movement, you know, it's hard. He's borderline right now. Elric, of course, 101 attack power, and I gave him the weakest weapons for an archer, and he still has over 100 attack, so yeah. Luke, also struggling a little bit with his terrible HP, but I'm going to give him a bit more effort, because he did learn Aura 4. I feel like he learned Aura quicker than even Sarah, so okay. Rhodes out, of course. Celeste, I'm going to keep trying a bit longer. She does have ridiculous attack power with that Warlock ring. You can't really use it because she dies, or she's very at risk, but I want to give her a bit more try. She's a very interesting class. Magus is something interesting, at least. We're bringing May along. You know, Archer, 99 attack power. These are my kill squad. Elric, Celeste, and May, kind of, and Geralt. I'm going to keep bringing Tamari for a little bit long to try out the Pegasus Knight. You can see even just stats here. It's not amazing, but we'll try. Karna's benched. I think her spell selection's terrible. Bowlers are benched. They can just go bowling. Sumina's here because I think she's going to grow into the best wizard warlock. Slade, of course, you know, ninjas can't resist. Anyway, that's the group. Let's get to it. That was a pretty long review, but I think it was important. So, we'll do one little quick battle and we'll get to the next... Isn't there... I thought there was a battle in there. Huh. Guess maybe I'm thinking of another cave. Just my bad. All right, well then we'll still get to a fight in a second, but we'll do Keto first, which means I technically don't have enough money. We don't have enough money for the new weapons here, because it turns out enemies don't drop very much gold, and boy, are things expensive. I was buying quite a lot. So, spoiler alert, one of the ways I got levels up was buying healing drops and using them to heal themselves, because they could get like 30 or 48 experience healing someone a higher level than them who took a ton of damage. So you get hit by Blaze 3, run away, or have, like, you know, Elric kill it or something. Someone who's already high level. And then have the weaklings that can't kill anything and die instantly just hoard a bunch of healing drops and use those to heal people and get a bunch of XP. That was kind of how I got around grinding a little. MP honey, yeah, I will maybe give those out at some point. The legendary Red Baron, yeah, they did switch around the Red Baron a little bit compared to where it used to be. Is there anything else in this town? There's the secret sort of shop, kind of. Ooh, another Vital Cape. I didn't know there was another one of those. But we will open up the shops here. If you didn't know, I mean, who doesn't explore towns? But yeah, this shop was shut down by the devils, but they'll open for you anyway if you talk to them. Yeah, we could buy more of these angel shots. I haven't actually tested it out, but I believe it's consumable offensive magic, basically. All right, and if we look at the weapons, oh, well, so we could definitely upgrade our ranged attacks, our swords, and some of our damage dealing weapons. So this is the first time we've been able to buy vigor rings, assault shells, and buster swords. We really don't have the money for it. Let me pick someone for the Vital Cape. Because it's +1 movement, so I might just give it to Sarah. She's actually got really good defense. Or maybe Kazan. The first one I gave to the dragon. I could also give it to, like, Sumina. Her defense is not as amazing. I'm just going to give it to Sarah. It's fine. The idea here is she doesn't need that much defense anyway, and I'm going to restart my music, because just my intro here used up the entire soundtrack. Crazy. But yeah, I think getting her a little bit more movement probably worth it. And I need to sell some stuff here. So we're going to sell one of these healing drops. You get 3/4 back when you sell stuff. It's not too bad. I'm just going to, yeah, we need the money. So people that are benched are just losing their stuff for now. It's just the way it is, you know? Gerhalt's there, Elric's there, Luke's road doesn't need his arrow. Seeing as they're obsolete now anyway, if we do want to use these people, you want to buy them, you know, the updated weapons anyway. That's fine. Karnas doesn't really matter. That's really sad to say Karna, because she really was MVP S tier, the most S tier. All right, does that give me enough money to buy? Yeah, that might be enough. I think I only need 1 assault shell. Yeah, like we need it, but might as well get Elric into the stratosphere for damage. And I think we only need 1 sword, too. There's not really any reason to hold on to the Achilles sword. You could put it in your storage, but I might as well just sell it. We can buy it back if you care. Was there anything else? I actually didn't need as much money as I thought. Because no one else... Slade's already got 1. Oh, right, I'm using Luke. Well, he definitely needs it, yeah. He needs every bit of damage. So my damage calculations didn't include the new weapons we just picked up, because I didn't think we could go straight here. So this might make the archers a little stronger, Luke and Blue a little stronger. I mean, almost 97 attack power. It's not like a huge difference in the comparison, because weapons come and go, and everyone just keeps getting levels up. All right, Vigor Ring would be good if you have like a power earring, but I almost never use those. And we've got a Vigor Ring on Elric already, and we've got a Power Pin, which is +20. That is a significant boost. It's like one of the best attack ups in the game, actually. I thought about giving like Red one and that he could switch to, so he'd have an attack, like he could move further with a cape and then switch to this to do more damage. I I'm not going to do that because I'm never going to remember. But like if you are the kind of player that in the middle of the fight will switch accessories, you can definitely movement ring to get closer, switch to attack, and do more damage as well. And you don't lose the movement after you've moved kind of thing. But it's a bit gamey, and it's just too much micromanagement. I generally don't do it. All right. Anyway, this is taking on even longer than I thought it would take. Let's deposit the honey for later. I do need to use that at some point. I think that's the only thing we have to change. Okay. All right, so let's get one fight in here at least. So we see Gestapo, Gop, I don't know, whatever his name is. He beats up some Pactalon soldiers, and we get the most forgettable paladin in the history of Shining Force, who is possessed by a demon or devil, and, well, basically turns into a vampire, I guess. Okay, so, yeah, not a huge change to the roster. You know, we've got a flying Pegasus Knight. We're bringing the Magus, who's a centaur mage. That's kind of the only two really new ones. I guess we're getting used to having my warlock there. So let's just get to it. Let's have a look around the map quick. We've got more lesser demons. I fought a lot of them. This is one of the reasons why certain characters always die, because they just fly over and do Blaze 3 and kill people. We've seen these guys before. I think lizard men are new, breaking 100 attack. They also have Bolt 2, keeping in mind. And wizards, who don't have crazy attack power, but also can one-shot a lot of units. So yeah, that's the thing. It's the magic that you really got to watch out for. Maybe we'll try the Dispel Silent Sea spell. Let's... I'm going to try to use Sarah to lure some over, because she does have really good defense. She's a bit overpowered, you know. There's a reason she's S tier, and it's not just that she levels up very quickly. Her stats are also amazing. Not even... Slade can also move really far, but his defense is passable. We've got Red, who's got good defense. I need to find the right tile here. Oh, there's bats! I forgot. There's new bats. Yeah, 2 damage. See, no problem. Man bat. Great. Not a Batman. No spells. Probably put you to sleep on hit. Defense is terrible. Attack is pretty good. They're just going to fly over and snipe our weaklings, probably. But that is what they do. So I'm going to probably need to slow down a bit in the movement here, because some people can get to like this range on turn 1 very easily. But half the party is going to be stuck in the forest mountains just trying to get out of it. So I'm glad we've got kind of more mobility. I've kind of preferred the flying mobility units, and that's, you know, obviously there's a reason for that. We do have aura, so we got Ray's leveled up. It's 16 MP to do a ton of damage. We've got long range Apollo. I should definitely go over the spells that have changed if I think of it. I think we already had Atlas, Demon, Freeze. I don't think we didn't really level Kazan up. He's the same. I'm surprised the archers can't like move through the forest better. There was some game I was playing some years ago where you got like a terrain bonus, like archers did more damage if they were in forest or something. Like they had like an affinity for that specific terrain. So we took a blast level 3, which did almost 30 damage. I think Red might actually resist blast. You know, things go so fast for me because I'm going fast, but it's interesting seeing who takes more. Like Blue took almost 30. Sumina took like less than 20, so maybe it could have been a crit. But hey, you know what? This is why Aura is the MVP spell. Mostly undone all the damage. All right, Slade. Just gonna have you flank an archer. I am gonna try to. I know it's gonna be a pretty long episode, but I want to show the game off sometimes. I don't want to always be going super fast. Just enemy turns and moving the cursor around, especially, feels really slow. All right, Blue is a little bit higher level. These Dark Bishops really don't give you very much XP. Their levels, I don't know, maybe 9 or 8. Yeah, they don't give you very much. Let's send our dragon. Don't get to see this animation very often. Ooh, Fire Breath. See, it's I think he would have done more damage if he just did a regular attack. I think. You know what would be cool? If I was reprogramming, if you could do it, you know, the ROM hackers can only do so much. But what if you gave him a spell like Flame Breath that you could choose? Maybe it costs 0 MP, like it just does 20 damage or something. Or maybe you give him a few MP, it costs 1 or something, right? Like, give him low MP growth like one of the people that has like 9, like May or something, right? Give him really low MP growth like her, and make it cost 1 or 2 MP to do a Flame Breath. It just does like Blaze 1 or something, single target, 1 range or something. And then just let his attack be an attack, right? It's fine. But, okay, just math it out. 69, nice. Minus 45 is 40, or 24. Minus like 15%. So it's actually very similar. He probably would have done about 20 damage either way. But I don't think you can double attack with the Flame Breath, or I'm not even sure. You might be able to crit. But it just seems like most of the time I'd rather he just attacked, you know? Now, Sumina, let's show off something new, right? Let's show off Raise. I haven't shown you guys this yet. It's a pretty good spell. Get wrecked. 44 damage for 8 MP. Could be worse. Now, with a Warlock Ring, she probably could have just killed him with a regular attack. The downside with spells like that, the one range ones, is she only had 74 attack power. Not that great. But, well, for instance, we know Celeste with her actually good attack rate would definitely just trash him. I want to get rid of this Bishop before it hits anybody. The Gargoyle is trouble, but the Bishop is worse. So we're going to focus him down with the weird-looking May. Kazin, what can you do? Anything interesting? This guy has not used his MP yet. Let's try to kill him. This is where Atlas is good. I say good. It's still a lot of MP at this point in the game, but it should do almost 70 damage. I think it's the highest damage summon, right? So, hey, we get to use Celeste. She could use some magic, or we could just attack with her Warlock Ring. It's pretty good. So, you gotta be careful with her, for sure. But, damage is good. Alright, good start to the fight. I mean, that was pretty easy, nothing... Pretty unlikely we were gonna have any losses on that little opening scrum. Someone got hit, though, right? Or, yeah, could use a bit of healing. I really like having these rods to conserve our MP for later, like... So nice. I said I was going to take it slow. We could try. What do you guys think? Will it work? Hey! Wizard! Wrecked! Alright, I'll try to remember that, because it is very cheap. Like, Slade can actually cast it, which is... like, cheaper than vanilla, for sure. I don't know how long it will last. It should end at the end of one of his turns, so he'll at least lose 1 round of potentially blazing us. Blaze it up. Alright, these enemies are starting to charge. Yeah, we're going to send Dragon out to fight the Bat. One thing about his Flame Breath is it is... I don't think you can dodge it either. And maybe you don't get a counter. I don't know. Not that counters really matter too much. Send the Archer this way. Unfortunately, Sumina can't really get close enough to help. Luke's got to be careful. Let me... It's going to be a bit hard to save Luke up here, so we're going to use Tiamar's Flying Pegasus powers. Right, there you go. I actually quite like that sprite. I don't generally use a lot of Pegasus Knights in Shining Force 2, so I don't know what they all look like, but that one, that's a nice, some nice animation, I think. Celeste is too slow. Kazin can't get close enough. Oops, meant to use the healing rod, but... Alright, this is fine, as long as we kill the archer before Luke goes down. Well, remember I'm like, Geralt does a ton of damage? He does decent damage. Can't get there. Well, this turn didn't go the best. Luke can probably finish him off. There's a bat coming. I think Luke can take one hit from the bat. He's so pink now. Hey, silence worked. It didn't wear off instantly. I do think maybe on like the bishops that have like 5,000 attack power, silencing is like maybe the wrong option for them. All right. Let's speed this up a little bit. Who needs heals? Luke, kind of far away. Blue could use a little. Let's get blue for now. Let's all get blue. They generally prioritize killing the main hero if they can. Especially if I put him up front where I want to put him. There we go. Double attack blue. Alright, there's the bolt too, so that could have been worse. Only hit one target. Red, otherwise, well, Lizardman can spam that. He can do that 5 times. Can we... If only she had a... I don't think that'll kill the bat. Well, I'm gonna try really hard to keep Red alive, so I'm gonna heal him up a bit. It's kind of a waste of an aura, but that's all she got. Alright, we'll get into the forest. Try to split up a little bit. Shoot the bat. Try to shoot the bat. Yeah. At least she gets double attacks, right? Alright, Tamar. Let's... I don't know how to pronounce it. It's one of those words. Is there no more enemies to the north, so we can fly around? Definitely want to finish off the wizard before it gets a chance to do anything in trouble. There we go. Critical hit for 29 damage. Not the most impressive damage dealer, but... Ooh, I don't remember bats being able to do that. This man bat does the same thing. Well, it's a good thing I healed him. Wow, Red would have been dead. All right. Good aura cast then, in hindsight. Oh boy, if that lizard warrior... This is why we got a healing drop. Try to keep him alive. We gotta get some reinforcements up there. I think I put too many people on the north side, not enough people on the east side. These guys can't even get close enough. If we do get closer, though, they're gonna probably send a big old bolt of lightning our way. We could really double down on defense. That's plus 31 defense. Yeah, 124 defense. That's normal. Alright, Luke's still a little hurt. We'll just have him wait. Red does get his turn at the beginning of the turn order. He gets it kind of quicker now. Maybe he can kill the band bat? Not even close. That's not what I meant to do. It's clicking too quick. One of the downsides of playing fast. Yeah, that's fine. Go after the healer. This lizard man is about to lightning bolt us. You know it's coming. Oh, well, honestly, I'd take that. Assuming she might be dead. Well, you know what? I know Samina... Well, they're all grouped up. They're all grouped up. Blaze 3 is pretty good. Man-Bat, definitely strong to fire, though. That's way less than normal. Alright, Man-Bat. What a dumb name. Who named these guys? Alright, Kazin... 49 damage. We can do that much. Atlas would kill him from range. Sure. Let's get that kill. There's not too many enemies left on the map, so nice damage. That's why it's the best spell. Level 12. Give me a new spell. Come on. Dare ya. I doubt he's going to get it for a while, though, because like Atlas 2 is super strong, and so is Freeze 4. Alright, I'd like the bat to come and attack maybe Geralt. Celeste, maybe reinforce. Hey, don't forget you have healing. I did spend a lot of money on these healing items. So that may have saved her life, because I think if May was low enough, the demon probably would have prioritized her. Instead, they were both going to survive, so he just went after whoever had the lowest defense. I think is how that went down. Gotta know how the AI works. I'm trying. All right, well, I'm really not trying to specifically grind with Sarah. She just always has the right spell for the job, you know. Oh yeah, poison damage, 8 per turn. It's 10%. If we could lure the archer down, I will. Meanwhile, Red, he can take a hit. Just not much else. Okay, the bat went one way. Okay, this demon won't last very long. We got to start moving up. What did I say? Did we die? Sounds the music sounded like we died. Okay, we definitely need a little bit of help on the left side here. Unless we get like a double or some kind of status effect. Luke comes down to the wire. Can you do it? Yeah, barely. But he gets a level. Attack 2, defense 2, you know, pretty average. Nothing too crazy. Could have just used my heal rod, but whatever. Right, I keep forgetting she's poisoned. That's what I've been forgetting. Okay, so we've only got, I think, that's it. Just 4. Well, there's a demon up there, but there's not too much left. We got this. How's the defense? 75? We could. I mean, what do you guys think? Oops, I didn't even hit the one I wanted to hit. I thought it was range 3. Blue's going too fast. The downside is we did not hit silence on the lizard man. That's not great. I think Blue needs to stay. Slade's gonna have a bad time. Oh, he's having a bad day. But one of them went for Blue, got poisoned. I should have waited a couple turns. Definitely should have waited a couple turns. No one can really come close enough to help. Slade's stun still pulls off a counter somehow. Celeste, known for amazingly not being tanky. Now, she does have Blast 4. She got it faster than anyone else. She can cast it once. So I suppose this is a good time to show it off. The first level 4 spell. Actually, not as much damage as I was expecting. 40 damage in a huge AoE is not bad, but I kind of thought it'd be better. Does she get another new spell? Ah, no spell, level up. I've been lied to. Good, actually, that definitely saved Slade's life for another turn, because I think that would have been a Blast 3 instead of an Aura if I hadn't done that much damage. Yeah, we need to get up there. We don't need Aura 3. Aura 2 is plenty. Get everyone topped up before the last little match. The poison, whatever. No time for poison. Show off some more spells here, maybe? Let's not mess my inputs up. We could just blaze it. Or raise it. Depends on what we want to kill, but... we could heal Slade. No, we're gonna go maximum raise. This should probably kill in one shot. 88 damage. Does more damage than Apollo, just short range. Well, you see, Slade had a chance to escape, but unfortunately, due to RNG status effects, dead. So, it's... I could have healed him. It's still my fault. It's always my fault. It's always my fault except for when it's not. So the lizard man is stunned. He does not get an attack. So we want to like deal some damage to the bishop so that it heals. Or is killed. Sure. We'll just do a regular attack here with Celeste. It's probably kill the bishop. Yeah. Phew. Yeah, she can do some damage. You know, Celeste is starting to grow on me a little bit. Pegasus Knight could kind of block here a little. Didn't really work. Almost had a game over. Yeah, see, that's the risk, right? Wow, if blue gets a turn and doesn't heal, he's dead. He'll take 7 damage from poison. Oh, well, you know, we can just... 66. Yeah, the healing items may have been buffed a little bit. Which is good. I think that's one of the things to remember when you're replaying these ROM hacks is... It's harder, but they do sneak in some things that help you out a little. And, like, I keep forgetting that, like... Oh, I didn't think Aura 4 would be that expensive. It's usually 20. He can't even cast it. He learns it too fast. Whatever, it's fine. But it's funny. I was like, oh, I could just heal everybody with Aura level 4. Not quite today. Alright, here you go, Luke. He really is a Skywalker. Just having a drink, slowing it down for a second, so you guys can enjoy the animation. Alright. It also gets him some free XP. Okay, I don't know who all's been poisoned. Let's try to get rid of it before the end of the fight, because I'll always forget. Detox, you know. Alright, Blue. Time for revenge. This guy's looking a little blurry. Alright, well, Sumina... She could get a level up. Actually. You should definitely get a level up. Even if you don't heal anybody, you still get 25 XP, because it's cheating. Enjoy that level 13. And then the dragon who can't kill anything. I'm not trying to grind specifically, it's just... everyone keeps missing. Alright, so we get another new unit. Hooray. This guy, I don't know if I'm ever going to bother trying to level up. Maybe I should... See, usually Higgins is just bad. Pre-promote, so to speak, you don't get a chance to level him up extra. The difference here is, you know, everyone leveled up at 20. So he's not behind the curve. He does get, like, some interesting spells. He's got heal, freeze, and sleep, which is definitely different than Chester. But it might be the same combo, where you get, like, 1 cleric spell, 1 wizard spell, and something else. Like, 1 damage, 1 heal. Which definitely makes me think that it would be interesting to know what Timari would have gotten as a red knight. But... So he's level 12. He does have more MP than Chester. Like, twice as much. He's got a Titan ring, so he's got a lot of defense from that. That's a pretty big buff, I think. He's also got a better spear. So he's got... Yeah. He's... Okay, his base defense is probably about as bad as Chester's. Actually worse. Wow. So he's got 11 less defense than someone who I thought was too weak to live. His HP is a tiny bit better. And his attack power, it's probably about the same. Well, we can actually test that up pretty quick if I just go. He's got 84. If we switched it... Okay, so he's got slightly higher attack power than Chester. Way worse defense. Is his spells better? Maybe. He does get a bit more MP, so you could use him as a mobile healer and freezer. Because Chester doesn't get any heal. Yeah, you know, okay, Higgins might be better than Chester. I'm not going to put him on the tier list right now, but I would say heal and freeze. It's probably better than blast and boost. Especially if you've got, like, double the MP. So, you know, that's going for him. Is there secret items along here? I'll have to double check my map. I feel like there is one on this map somewhere. But maybe I'm just crazy. I think as a kid, I always checked, like, every corner, basically. But it's been a really long episode. So I think what we'll do is we'll just get to the next town. And do a little bit of the chit-chat to get that out of the way. There's no battle leaving here this time. That's the second visit. So let's just get some plot out of the way. Blah, blah, blah. So go to Metula, you know the drill. This place is got a... What's the word? Drought. Also, this girl. Remember, I said it's girl, shining girl. Definitely not an old man. I don't know who she's supposed to be, but different replacement for the vicar. There should still be right here. So instead of a cool Pegasus wing that's joined, you find way too late, you get a +1 level. That's not too important. There is nothing in the pots. Maybe. There we go. Titan ring in one of them. That's good. I'll do some accessory juggling between episodes. That's why I want to find it now, so I can show you what it is and then show it off. So we got to go this way to the treasure. Mithril, sure. That might be everything in the castle. I think. There's nothing else on the south end here. Nope. We're not really going to bother talking with everybody or exploring every last step, but I think that's everything. We do need, of course, one thing is to resurrect Slade, so don't let me forget. And make sure no one's poisoned. I did remember after all. We'll make sure we save so that when we aggress, inevitably, we don't go too far back. And there's a couple items in town. First off, there's a new item shop, which has nothing really new. That's new. That was not there before. So we want that. Yes. We're going to put that on probably just Sumina for now. You don't need to equip it. That's our first new ring. Huzzah! I think maybe an enemy had it that didn't drop it, or like whoever killed them had their inventory full or something. Probably the reason it's here, and because I did not sell that. That was just there. But that's why you always check the deals, because every now and then you miss something. We can get better spear, better healing rod. This heals twice as much as a normal healing rod. Yeah, there's a reason why we're keeping Kazin and Sarah around. That just makes them even stronger. So yeah, I'll do the shopping in between episodes, but slightly better spear. We've already got one, I'll just move it. And then we would like to buy 2 of these instead of the heal rods. The regular heal rods. There is like some bread or something in one of these, I'm pretty sure. Or healing rain. Well, something. Maybe it was bread originally, I don't know. It's kind of funny, the town with no rain has a thing that makes it rain in one of their doors. Is that everything? Oh, there's the bread. See, I thought there was some bread. Okay, well, we're about to get a breakthrough in Warlock / Megasing here with our new fairy ring. You'll really like what that does, I guarantee it. Other than that, I think there's not much else for me to do. So it's a super long episode. We did our tier list. We kind of had an easy battle. I'm not planning on using Higgins anytime soon, but I'll keep him in mind. I got to move the Titan rings around. I got some accessory management. And I need to buy a couple things too, I suppose. The heal rods. But yeah, that won't take too long. We're a little short on money. I can always sell the mithril or like a golden gold ore if I need to. But I'm trying to save those for, well, the mithril weapon shop, actually, as it turns out. But that's pretty late game, so if we need money earlier, I'll just do what I need to do. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching. This is a long one, but hopefully you enjoyed the tier list and a little bit of a showcase. I do intend going forward to keep showing off some of the alternate characters that are not in my main force. Because it's a ROM hack, I feel like it's even more important that I show off the full spread, so that it gives you a fair representation, rather than, oh, I don't like the looks on this guy, let's just bench him and never use him, and maybe he's secretly awesome. So we can't just look up on the wiki what spells people have and be like, ah, this guy gets trash spells, so don't use him. Maybe he learns a good spell at level 30, who knows? Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching, folks. Next time, we'll head north. Maybe try to get 2 battles done in a single episode. They're both pretty straightforward, but we'll see how it goes. I'll see you there. Have a great day.